So this is gonna be a pretty serious video concerning the time that I met Curtis Adams in Nunavut, Canada. It came as a complete shock because it is very remote territory. But wait, there we go. It is very remote territory, but I was on Nunavut for a sort of a cultural tour, just going around and seeing local landmarks and hitting up like bars and shops and all the museums and sources of culture that the city has. It was a little balmy as it's getting into the spring months, but basically I was doing a sort of outreach program, and one of the things we would do is sort of go to schools, just help out, hand out school supplies, just to work with the kids, and doing all kinds of good things. But so we're making our way out to Nunavut High, and there's basically an auditorium full of kids, and then I walk in, and up on the stage I see a man. Immediately there's a glow. He's emanating some sort of glow, and I realize he's doing magic, and the kids are just astounded and amazed. They're applauding. I mean, even I myself was pretty astounded, even in my older age. But I think his name is Brian Glow. But the strange thing is, to the right of the stage, there's a sort of sinister figure, just a sort of downcast, wide-faced man. It looks like he has a bit of a high hairline, but he's just glaring at who I did find out his name is Brian Glow. So he's just up there, sort of giving him this death stare. And eventually, I think some of the kids started to notice. So they were getting a bit distracted because you can tell that this other guy off stage he's just fuming. He's pacing up and down, and biting his nails, just like nervous, really angry. He keeps flipping his smartphone off and on, and about halfway through the performance, he kind of interrupts, and we have no idea what he's doing, but he takes these metal suitcases up on stage and he just opens them one by one, and at this point there's complete silence because nobody knows what's going on. He's just flipping open the locks to these suitcases and sort of angrily, like rapidly, like pushing them around and banging and clattering, and it's so strange. But he tilts them forwards, and suddenly we can see that they're power drills. And then he goes on a bit of a strange rant. Keep in mind, he's speaking in front of a group of children. But he's sort of now like pretty desperately trying to peddle I can understand school supplies, but I see no reason why any of these kids would kind of need power tools. But after about a few minutes of doing that, he says, do any of you kids need power tools? And he sort of starts demonstrating, and he gets a plank of wood, and like he demonstrates how quickly the drill can sort of pierce these planks of wood. And a lot of the kids now are bored. Some of them are like, dozing off a little bit. So he gives that up. And now, I thought he was just some random dude who kind of snuck in. But apparently, he was performing. He picks up the microphone and he launches into what I now realize, I think it's called I Am Stronger. And it's sort of one of his motivational songs. It's got a banging beat, like the walls were rattling. The kids were loving it, but halfway through, he kind of puts his hands up and he motions to the sound technician, Jared, to stop the song. I don't think it was planned. He seemed pretty confused. But out of nowhere, he just shouts at the top of his lungs, this one's called Booze Tune. Just from the name, I'm already thinking, okay, this is kind of a change of pace. Is he going to start talking about the dangers of alcoholism or drinking or that kind of stuff? But he launches into this very raunchy, sort of old school rap song and starts talking about Jaeger and, you know, gagging girls. And I think at one point one of the lyrics was, fuck her in the ass without even asking. Like, saying this to a room full of kids. The kids are pretty confused, you know, looking around. There were some parents there who are obviously not happy. And the strangest part of this all was we could see that there were tears streaming down his face, just sobbing uncontrollably. Now, as if this situation is not already bizarre enough, it's at this point where he just completely freezes up like a statue. He closes his eyes, and his whole body starts convulsing in a very strange manner. And I can see Brian offhand. He looks like he's like rattling through his coat pockets, maybe for some kind of elixir or some sort of spell or charm to stop what's about to happen. But I could not believe my eyes, because right in front of me, he reaches up his hands, puts his hands right here, and he peels off all of the skin from his face. Like, it was disgusting. It was goopy. You could see like strands of goo that were coming off from it, and there was this intense kind of smell of rot and decay. And underneath it all, there was no other explanation other than what we were looking at was the face of a goblin. At this point, several of the children are screaming, crying. I have to admit, even me personally, I had tears in my eyes. I felt this, you know, this rising in my throat. People started rushing for the exits, and thank God Brian was there, because I don't know how any of us would have made it out of that situation. But Brian just starts chanting, very powerful, really projecting some kind of what sounded like some sort of ancient mantra, but it really kind of reached into your core. And immediately you could see that this guy, Uncle Adams, he was in pain. It's almost like, you know, a squirting holy water on somebody possessed by the devil or a vampire when there's that immediate reaction. So he gave this incredible shriek. Of intense rage is the only way I can describe it. But he sprints towards the exit. Parents are going crazy. They're grabbing their kids out of the way. He's just, trying to pummel through people. And he gets to the door. But I've been filming this whole time on my iPhone because I'm putting together a video on kind of the whole experience. And right before he gets out of the door, he takes my phone and just snaps it like a credit card. Just boom. It's in half. I tried to recover that SIM, but all my stuff was gone. I thought it would be okay, but I wasn't able to get any of that data back. I don't know if anyone else was filming, but I haven't seen any news coverage of this. I haven't seen any think pieces or YouTube video essays or anything like that. But I mean, we gotta get this guy, because for a demonic, supernatural beast of that kind to be masquerading as some kind of motivational rapper, you know, and just cloaking all of his evil in that kind of material, it just, I literally have goosebumps right now. Just wanted to get this message out there. If you know anything more about this guy, I've done as much research as I can, but if you know anything about Boo's Tune, send me links, send me anything, because I'm at a loss, and I just can't. I had to make this video to just get these thoughts off my mind. That's it. I just think it was something that everyone needed to hear.